Today's story asks an important question. What happens if a president gives an order that goes beyond what Congress allowed? The case is Little versus Barreme. In the late 1790s, the United States was in a tense conflict with France known as the Quasi-War. Although it wasn't a declared war, American naval ships were stopping vessels suspected of helping the French. Congress passed a law allowing the U.S. Navy to seize ships sailing from French ports. But President John Adams issued broader instructions to naval officers. He told them they could also capture ships sailing to French ports, not just from them. One U.S. naval officer, George Little, followed the president's instructions. He stopped and seized a ship called the Flying Fish. The ship belonged to a Danish merchant named Hans Barreme. But there's a problem. The ship was sailing to a French port, not from one. That meant the seizure went beyond what Congress had authorized. Welcome to Once Upon a Case, because the law isn't just for lawyers, it's for everyone. Barreme sued Captain Little for damages. Captain Little defended himself by saying he had simply followed the president's orders. So the case reached the Supreme Court. The justices now had to decide an important constitutional question. If a presidential order conflicts with a law passed by Congress, which one controls? In 1804, the Supreme Court ruled against Captain Little. The court explained that Congress had clearly limited which ships could be seized. Because the president's instructions went beyond that law, the seizure was illegal. Even though Captain Little was following the president's order, the law passed by Congress had to prevail. The court said that executive orders cannot override a statute enacted by Congress, and that became the lasting lesson of this case. Presidential authority must operate within the limits set by law, and that is the story of Little versus Barreme. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, follow along for more. See you on the next one.